we're a little bit in uncharted territory right now as a nation, as university, really as a city and as families, and we're all kind of going through it together. So I believe we all have a responsibility, just as citizens to do our part in trying to flatten off this curve, not to allow this virus to spread. I think we all have a social responsibility in that, and I think we all need to take that serious, and I believe we have. We also can stick together in times like this. I think Raider powers can be more than a chant. It's more of a mindset that's going to allow us to get through this all together. So we don't know really what the future holds, or there's a lot of things that are questions that I don't have the answers for you today, but we can go ahead and I'll go ahead and open it up for some questions that I may know the answers to.
Would you tell your guys what's protocol with them, or any facilities still open for them to maybe work out in or train or whatever?
No, just as per university policy right now, it's and the Big 12, everything's shut down till as of right now till March 29th.
What's the contact been like with them? I mean, was it one?
Well, we just went on spring break, so we had a team meeting Friday morning, sent them all off to on spring break, and so had some phone calls, some text, but we just kind of started the break too a little bit. So yeah, we've been in contact with some of the guys.
Coach, how were the first 4 practices? I mean, what really stood out? Where you really decided to see develop?
Well, year 2 in an offensive system and a defensive system that with a couple new coaches, man, we need practice. We needed that practice. We need the remaining practices. And I say that all in the context of what I just said. I understand right where we're at, but to be able to get back out there after 7 weeks of I thought was a really good off season. Really our first real off season. I don't think we had one last year. So much of who we are, our staff and our program of what we're implementing is development. And so that's why this time off is going to be a challenge, maybe more than others, but because we need to be here. We need to grow them up. We need to get them in our system. They need to practice. We need to lift. That is just so much in terms of the development that's important part of this turnaround here at Texas Tech, and will play a critical role. And then moving forward, we don't know what it's going to hold. So we'll have to work within the realms that we're given.
After staying with recruiting, how big were those past 2 junior days? Just knowing.
Well, now seeing the recruiting band now until April the 15th, those 2 junior days that we had were huge. Several kids were at both of them, and again, getting them here to Lubbock, on our campus, seeing the facilities, being around the people, around our players, recruits around each other. Around a bunch of our signees and committed kids, I think is huge, and that was good. It'll go a long ways, really, especially in this time coming up of the next month, where all you can do is text or email or FaceTime or phone call. So it's won't be on campus here for a while.
Coach, the NFL has done a similar thing where they're not allowing their athletes to facilities, but guys that are rehabbing, can those guys still come and your medical staff still work with those guys that are rehabbing?
Yeah, on an as-needed basis. Yep.
Once spring break is over, do you guys have a plan in place that next week where you can't do anything? Or are you guys going to suggest different? I mean, what's the game plan for you guys at that point?
Same game plan for our players for the next 2 weeks. They're going to have to lift and run on their own just because of the facility shut down here for 2 weeks. And we'll see more as the next few days unfold with what the Big 12 says and what we can do and what we can't do.
What about your staff?
We're on spring break right now, so there's nobody on campus right now for us. We are right now. Yeah.
Coach, not to have you speak on behalf of any other coaches, but just from your perspective and how quickly the NCAA officials and the Big 12 officials made the decision to kind of cancel things. I mean, what did you just sort of see just from your perspective here in Lubbock? Not necessarily somewhere like Kansas City where everything shuts down, but just how quickly and how swiftly they were able to make those decisions to basically keep our student athletes and our coaches and families safe.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is when the decisions are made, they're made with that in mind. The safety of our student athletes, utmost concern, and then, our staff and our families. And on that Thursday, when they took our basketball team off the floor and, it was just, a couple hours later that I ended up canceling our scrimmage here that afternoon. So that'll always be the utmost concern for us is those players' safety, their health, the conditions that they're doing it in, as well as our staff.
Now, what's next for you personally? I mean, how are you personally dealing with all this?
In terms of what?
In the next few days or whatever, with everything shut down?
Yeah, just trying to look ahead, John, and map it out for our staff, what it's going to look like, recruiting, game planning, evaluations, players. Are we going to have spring ball? Are we not? All those kind of things. And it's ever changing.
Speaking of recruiting, do you think that they'll change any of the contact rules over the course of, however long this thing lasts? Because you can get the recruits in during the summer or whatever
Yeah.
you would. Do you
Yeah.
think any of that stuff will change in
Could.
NCAA?
I would assume, right now it's dead until April 15th. It's just, who knows, predicting a little bit. I'm sure all those people are, you're going to look at it. What's the equal playing field for everybody? Can we open it up a little bit more in the summer or not? I believe the rules that are in place right now for the summer recruiting period for us are very good. I think it'll remain to be seen. Who knows?
If the deadline gets extended past what we're expecting right now,
Mm-hmm.
is there a thought process or a procedure you guys can go through to petition the NCAA to open up the summer for actual practices since you guys are missing so many in the spring?
Yeah, I think that'll be done through the AFCA and Coach Barry and recommendations to the NCAA, and we haven't had those discussions yet, but I would assume that would absolutely be options on the table for them to look at and consider. You're going to have to consider, do you extend training camp just a little bit, or do you give us some days in July? We'll see. I think all those options will probably be on the table.
How many guys are you expecting to enroll this summer? I know
All the rest of the recruiting class,
With the,
whatever. I don't know the exact number. Yeah.
considering that on Sunday, the CDC recommended an 8-week shutdown for events with more than 50 people, do you see that as a sign that you're unlikely to be back on the field before middle of May, or before summer, really?
Yeah. That's hard to predict, Don, but I think it's certainly, a concern. No, not a concern. I think it's certainly an option. That's probably going to be out there. We'll just wait and see what the Big 12 says.
Oh, very.
Is that eval period, speaking of recruiting and calendar and everything, it seems like that evaluation period is such a crucial part of the cycle. Is that the next date to look at to see if there's going to be huge changes to the recruiting cycle or not?
Probably so, because that dead period, butts up to April 15th, which is the first day of evaluations off campus, which is it's an eval period. That's the next period to look at. That technically, I think, goes April 15th to May 30th, May 31st. Yeah.
That was a small sample size, but can you get anything out of the first 4 practices from spring?
Yeah, probably a little bit more individual kind of evaluations in 4. You got 2 days in helmets, 1 day in full pads, 1 day in half pads. Not a big sample size, but a little bit. I think it would probably be a little bit more individual related than unit related, just because it wasn't very much.
What kind of a note did the quarterbacks leave on? Obviously, how were they progressing in spring at the end?
Yeah, I think Bowman had a good a few practices there at the end. Maverick as well. Those guys basically were taking 95% of the snaps in all team settings, past Skelly, one-on-ones, all that stuff. But, those guys were fine. But, again, just small sample size.
You've been in football a while. Is this the weirdest spring you've had?
Yeah, Yeah, it's just different. It's uncharted waters, like I said before. It's just so much of the unknown, right? What we're dealing with it's a virus. It's invisible a little bit. It's hard to see, and you don't know how long you've had it if somebody gets it, and you don't know how, there's just a lot of questions for every one of us, right? I was talking earlier, I was at the Naval Academy as a young assistant when 9/11 happened. It's completely different. 9/11 was destruction, and it was visible. And you had moments of sadness to rage to anger, and you knew who the opponent was, and you know what it was, and our country rose up together and fought it together, and sports were a big part of that. I can remember, President Bush going out and throwing that first pitch, and how it was like, okay, we're going to be fine, right? Now we don't have baseball, we don't have March Madness. So it's different. It's just, doesn't mean it's harder. It just means it's different. And then, it's kind of a virus you can't see. And we probably have a whole lot more questions than we all do answers. So that's what makes it, I think, unknown and a little tougher for us right now.
One of the popular things that was being discussed before the complete shutdown happened was playing games without fans in the stands.
Yeah.
Would you be in favor of playing the game without fans, or postponing the game until you could get the fans?
It would be like a spring closed scrimmage, right? Yeah, a little awkward. Can we crank the music as loud as we crank it here in Lubbock? Yeah. I think our players would be in favor of that. Let's hope it doesn't get to that.
I know you talked about your coaching staff being on spring break, obviously. Some of the new Coach Jones, has he even been able to move everything down here to Lubbock, first
No.
of all?
Yeah.
And his transition, obviously, he's not going to get to know the guys as well, other than through text messages or Skype.
Well, we've only been gone a few days now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he got here right after I hired him, and he didn't leave till Friday afternoon, so he's only been gone 4 days. So he's all right. He'll get to know him. Yeah. But no, his family's not here yet. They'll be here this summer. So.
Two new linebackers, small sample size, obviously. Or you really want to see out of Sean and Brandon and coming off.
Yeah. So Brandon was limited in those 4 practices because of the shoulder surgery. But in just that short size, you can see he's long, he's athletic, he can rush a passer. I saw that live at the Michigan State, Utah State game in 2018. We saw him live and had evaluated him all summer. He's going to help our linebackers, no question about it. And Krishawn Merriweather, I figured out one thing in 4 days. The guy knows how to run to the football. He will run to the football, and you can see real quick why he did what he did in junior college and why he was ranked what he was ranked and how many tackles he had. I saw a big improvement in him. I'll give you an example. Like the first 2 days, he would take 2 steps forward in his stance, 2 steps back, basically get right back where he started and still go make a play or be involved in the play. And by day 4, Coach Cosgrove, Coach Patterson had him just clearing his cleats, boom. And they're just, it's just a technique. It's just fundamental. And that's coaching. It's also being coachable on his part. And the guy can run to the football. He and Brandon will help our linebackers, no question.
It seemed like going into spring ball that maybe replacing all those long-time starters on the offensive line and then finding some answers at safety to the questions.
Yeah.
Only 4 practices.
Yeah, don't have the answers. No, but part of the, the plan in the secondary was we moved Fry back out to corner, tried to keep him there, keep Jamarcus at safety. DeMarcus was going to, not moonlight, but we kind of moved him into the nickel, the spur position. We were going to actually, play with some different combinations as we got back from spring break because we do like to cross-train them just like we do the O-line. So, that will be ongoing, and if we get to finish spring out or as it goes into training camp, up on the O-line, Zach Adams, Casey Verhulst, Landon Peterson, Trevor Roberson, Ethan Card, those 5 guys, just 4 days. Again, 2 of those days being helmets only, so that's a hard eval on an O-lineman. But those guys were making progress. We're happy with, where they were at after 4, but that also takes time, takes a lot of time. with them and the communication inside to the guards and all that. But, you know, those evaluations and opportunities to coach them will be extended, you know, into training camp.
Coach, is there part of you that's kind of, I guess, excited about the prospect of it being, once we get past all this in a few months, it's your team that's going to be able to take the field for the first time and compete after this, you know, potentially 5-month drought of sporting competitions, for it to be yours that kind of brings back this sports community together?
You know, I didn't realize that until Chris Level told me our kids were playing in a neighborhood wiffle ball game on Saturday afternoon. It was pretty cool. It was old school, kind of like the Sandlot. And he said, Matt, do you realize that, you know, the home opener in football is going to be the next Tech sporting event? You know, no pressure. But that'll be great. To unify Red Raider Nation and all of our fans who are so passionate, and to give them something to look forward to, but also to give them a good product on the field that's, you know, something that they want to come, you know, rally around, and I know they will, and we will as well. So we're all in this together. We're in the same community, same schools, you know, the same neighborhoods, everybody, you know, including myself. I mean, we want to put a good product out there, but we want to give Texas Tech a winner, and it'll be maybe ever so more important this year.
Following up on that, how much could that potentially help attendance, considering that people are kind of have this pent-up need to go watch sports that's going to go on the field for the next several months?
Got a chance to have a pretty good chance to have a sellout, don't we? Yeah, I need to sell out. We need to sell out, every one of them. And I think, again, there's a direct correlation to winning at home. I know we lost a few close ones at the end of the year last year, but there's a direct correlation to playing very, very well at home and having a great football season. Our goal will be to go 7-0 at home, and it won't be anything less. You go 7-0 at home, you have a great season. You don't have a good season, you have a great season. And winning at home and protecting the Jones is extremely important to us. And, you know, I hope the fans will come out. I know they will. They will.
Got time for a couple more. For your guys that are going pro, they've lost the ability to kind of go meet in person with teams. They've lost the ability to have kind of pro day, stuff like that. Have a lot of teams going to reach out to you and try to get some information on these guys that they can't get in person anymore?
Yeah. Yes. Been fielding phone calls, scouts, GMs, coaches about our outgoing seniors. The pro day's not canceled yet, so we'll wait and see. Hopefully we can have that pro day here, and if we need to amend it and tweak it to have the right amount of groups and people in there, we certainly will. We'll get it videoed if we have to, sent to the NFL, even if they're not here. That's what we want to do. Everything that we can do for those outgoing seniors, we'll do. Kirby and I actually talked this morning about it, as well as a plan B. So we'll be ready to help our seniors.
And even looking back, have you gotten some phone calls about Jordan and his process?
Jordan Brooks?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Yeah, I took one this morning, actually. Yeah, I think his stock's going up. You know, we need that pro day. Jordan Brooks, just mentioned, and Jordan Brooks, he needs the pro day here. He needs to be, you know, able to be seen and do some of the things that he did not get to do at the Combine. And so we're going to do everything we can to give him that opportunity, as well as the rest of our seniors. It's important to me to do that for them.